The other thing just to take away with this is you should never really be standing letting everything hang out either, okay? I know I say don't engage all day because that weakens your muscles, and that's 100% true. But also don't let it all hang out all day either, because that is going to go against everything that you're doing. So if you're letting it all hang out, you're just letting the gap open and hang out and not come back in and strengthen, okay? So there's this really fine line in between the two. And what I call it is tension for alignment, okay? So there should be just this touch of tension in your TVAs to align your pelvis and keep everything in a line so your core's working correctly. Because if you remember what I say, if your ribs are flared out, your pelvis is... If your ribs are flared out and your pelvis is tilted and you're pulling everything apart as you're standing, then your core isn't firing, because for your core to fire correctly, your diaphragm, the roof of your mouth, and your pelvic floor all need to be in alignment, okay? And that's what a true core should look like, is sort of in this alignment. So if you're letting everything hang out like this, then you're not firing your core correctly. So there should be just this touch of tension, just a touch. Now, it doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to be not all hanging out. And you need to be able to take a full inhale so that your diaphragm can go down and the inhale can reach your pelvic floor and relax it and bring it back up. So if you put too much tension in here, like you're lifting weights tension, then your diaphragm and won't be able to drop for your inhale to get to your pelvic floor, because remember, when you put all that tension in your TVAs, it pulls up your pelvic floor as well. If you're holding your pelvic floor high, you're holding tension in there, it can't relax, therefore the inhale can't go down, and therefore you cause other issues with the over tight pelvic floor, okay? So it's just that touch of tension to bring yourself a little bit better into alignment and not letting it all hang out. And it tends to happen that as you use that touch of tension over the day, that touch of tension ends up just being natural. So you don't need to think about it, because you've strengthened enough that your natural relaxed alignment is correct. But it takes time, okay? So touch of tension, don't let it all just hang out if you're standing up, but not a lot, because you need to be able to get that full inhale, just enough so that your core is firing correctly. And you need to progress, because your connective tissue can regain strength if you stress it, unless it's truly overstretched. And then if it's truly overstretched, like you putting your fingers in and it just, even if you're engaged, it's just not finding that firmness, that is the point when you're needing to start thinking about, you know, is it painful enough for me and uncomfortable enough and annoying enough that surgery is something that I want to look into? Or am I comfortable with where I am and I just know that if I let it all hang out, it's going to all hang out? Like, some people are comfortable with that if they don't have pain associated with it, and other people are not, and other people have a lot of pain associated with it. And therefore, if you can't get that tension when you're engaged and feeling good, then surgery is that option that you have. Because if that connective tissue is truly overstretched, which happens not often, but it can happen, truly overstretched, and they're just you just can't get that tension in there, then your core isn't being supported by that connective tissue. And even though you can load it and load it and load it, if it's truly overstretched, just like a hair elastic, it's not necessarily going to come back, okay? So, a couple of things. Don't let it all hang out. Keep progressing, so you're loading and stressing your connective tissue. Keep getting stronger. It's the getting stronger is what's key.